Hey everyone, it's Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you my setup for my second bullet journal. As you well know, if you've watched my other previous videos, I decided for my second one I was going to go with a white Blake Term 1917 dot grid in the white with a gold vinyl mandala sticker from KM Vinyl on Etsy. I figured this would kind of jazz it up a little bit, and the fact that I plan on using this throughout the winter months and the holiday season, I felt that this was a very appropriate color. I had asked my Instagram followers between a choice of this, the emerald, and the new pink, which is slightly different from the berry color. It's more pink than it is a deeper magenta like this one. And so a lot of you were between the white and the emerald, and I figured I'd go with the white now for the winter, and then emerald would be a really good color for me. That'll definitely be my next one for the spring and summer months for next year. So I want to show you how I set this up, and I really decided when I was kind of figuring out what pages and stuff I was going to put into my second bullet journal. I looked at my first one and I really made a list of just the spreads that were the most useful to me, because I really wanted to make this more efficient and not kind of fill it up with filler, if you will. I just really wanted it to be efficient and really use spreads that were going to work for me. And that's the great thing with the trial and error of the first one. I really got to see what worked for me and what didn't. So now for the second time around, I really was able to pare down what I was going to put in here. So let's begin with the index. Now with the first one, I had come up with the system of color coding by month. So everything in the black is just what I started out with. And then now with November, I decided to use orange, and you're gonna see with my monthly setup and everything how I decided to do things very, very differently from what I normally do. So a couple of things here. We have the key, obviously, a future log, level 10 life and goals that are updated, my recipe log, my mastery grocery list, shopping list, 2017 social media stats tracker, Instagram tracker, morning routine, savings tracker, and then my son's immunization, and then we get into the stuff for November. Okay, so the key I kept the same as my old one. I kind of changed around the font and everything, but for the most part it's the same as it was in my previous bullet journal, because I've gotten used to it and I'm not going to change it at this point. Then we get into the 6 month at a glance. Because my last bullet journal lasted me about 6 months, I kind of made it for that in this case too, because I probably will average about 30 or 40 pages a month. So I did a calendar thing with my color coding at the bottom for what each category stands for, and then I kind of use the dot calendar for this, and so I think this is going to work better for me, because I tried the Calendex and I tried the Alistair method and it just wasn't for me. And so again, I know my mind thinks more along the lines of a calendar setup, so this is what I went with, and I have a feeling this is going to work a lot better for me, kind of just referencing and jotting down things that are going to be happening. So that is my 6 month future planning. Then we get into level 10 life and level 10 goals. This was completely inspired by Christina from Christina 77 Star with the bar graph. It just looked a lot more clean, more efficient. I could really just measure out better the different categories and where I see myself and set up the goals and everything. And I just used various colors for the different categories. But I just like how this looks. It's just a lot more clean, and you'll see that all throughout. I just kind of went for a more clean vibe throughout all of this, kind of kept it more minimal. Of course, adding the color, but again, I didn't do anything too crazy. So this is level 10 life and level 10 goals. Then I kept my recipe log the same as my last bullet journal. I added a few more recipes and stuff, kept the same doodles and everything, but I used my zebra mildliner highlighters to kind of just for the color in this case, as opposed to color pencils. And you'll see I experiment. but this I kept the same. And this recipe log basically works anything that I've ever made. If I'm ever subbed for ideas, I'll just go and refer back to what I cook, and I get instant ideas just like that. So then we have the master grocery list. Like I've mentioned in a few of my videos, this has been my most helpful spread, and I really just made it more clean and more minimal, using again the highlighters to, you know, for the different categories here. And I was able to take out things that I really don't buy anymore and put in things. And again, that's the great thing. You have the flexibility, you know, as your life changes, to kind of change things around as you need to. So this is this. Okay, I did the meal planning a little differently. I had this extra space here, so again, I tried to combine everything. And so I made enough space here so that these Post-its fit into each slot. Okay, so the meal planning would go here as so, and then this is where my shopping list would go. And I found these really good lined Post-it note pads, okay, that are big enough for a grocery list, and they stick into the bullet journal so I don't lose them. And then underneath it, I have the extra Post-its for the different meals and stuff that I'm not doing. So it kind of hides everything. So I'm very excited about using this. Again, this spread has to be the most useful for me. Then we get into the stats tracker for all my social media stuff. I decided to do it this way. What I didn't realize though was that I measured out 6 months instead of 7. I don't know why I did 7 here as opposed to 6, but either way, I have an extra slot here for May. But I go through my page views, my Instagram, my YouTube, my Pinterest, and my Facebook, and I just track the stats at the end of each month, and then whatever income, the total, just so I can keep track to see how I'm doing. And then here, inspired by the bar graph from my level 10 life, I decided to do the same thing with my Instagram tracker, which has me going all the way up to 30,000 followers. And so at the bottom here, I just reached 14,000 today, so I want to thank you guys for that. But then I can even include within each one when I reach the halfway point. So once I get to 14 and a half, I can do that, and then I'll get to 15, and then I can write it in, and I can color in this part of the bar graph and so on as it reaches to the top. So I can just really document my progress and see how I'm doing as far as followers are concerned on Instagram. So again, this is, I like this because this will last me a while, unless I get to this faster, but this will last me a good while, and I'll have to keep redrawing it. Okay, so efficiency at its finest. Then we have the morning routine, which I had included at the end of my last bullet journal when I went back to work. And then the savings tracker, I kind of redid, and everything, little mason jar here as I'm working my way up to the top to reach the ultimate goal. And it just makes it really more fun. And again, it's efficient. It's decorative, but it's efficient. So that's that. Then I included my son's immunization record. I really didn't change it up. You know, all the vaccines when he gets them and all of that. And then we get into November. For November, I went with like a feather theme, and you'll notice that all of the spreads are kind of like the warm oranges and yellows. So I did something completely different, and you're gonna see it. This is my monthly. I kind of went back to the boho berry inspired calendar, except I didn't do morning, afternoon, and evening. I did personal work and then anything with my social media. And so, and then what I decided to do, I kind of did a variation of a Dutch door, and this was inspired by a Instagrammer, Log That Life. Love her stuff. And I loved the idea that she kind of had all of her weeks in the middle, and then on either end she had, as you can see, like it kind of like mirrors each other on this side. So on this side I have my calendar, and then on this side I have my November tracker. which I did very differently. I kept it on one page and I had it going this way. And then in the middle, because I was doing the feather theme, I did all of the edges with this beautiful feather tape washi that I had gotten, I think off of, well, I don't even remember the name of the site on Etsy because it was that long ago. And I basically finished off the edges here, and they're all like, you know, you don't have the ripped kind of look at the end. It's all nice and finished. And so that is kind of what I went with here. And so as you can see, I counted out how many I needed, and I used the Post-it notes. If you saw my bullet journal hack video, these are a great way to kind of just earmark what pages you're using for what and for what week. So this was this week's spread. Okay, I do the pumpkin, and I kind of try to do a golden look here, okay, with the weather here, my meals here, and then all of my tasks in the middle, and then what's coming up in the upcoming week. Okay, so this was this week's. Then I just started, I just finished doing this past week, so I kind of went back to the feather here, okay, and I just kept it very, very simple. Had the weather tracker up here. I'm going to add like a little dotted line here so I could put my meals and then whatever tasks and stuff. So I have my to-dos for the week and then the 7 days of the week, so it's nice and just kind of like mapped out that way. And then as you can see, for the next coming weeks, I have, okay, November 14th to the 20th goes here. November 21st to the 27th, which is Thanksgiving week, goes on this page. And then I go up to December 4th, actually, in this, okay? And so all of my weeklies are already, the pages are already there. So I already know what I'm doing. Now, if you're somebody that takes up a lot of room on your dailies every day, this might not be the best idea, but for me, it works. And I loved the idea of it's like a version of a Dutch door, if you will, where I have both sides here, and then I just kind of have all my weeks in the middle, and I know they're all here, and I don't have to, I don't have to keep flipping. I just know that it's in the middle part here, and I really think that the washi at the end kind of just gives it a different dimension, different look to it. And then on the back side, I have my November memories over here. And so I know that with Log That Life, she actually puts tabs. So whatever week of the year it is, like week 41, week 42, she'll go the extra step and she'll tab it. I didn't do that because I just didn't have the time, but I just felt like the washi tape was just a nice touch for me. And so that's where we're at with this. And I just love that it's kind of inset. Now, for some of you might be saying like, oh, well, what happens with the pages that follow? Do you have a little bit of the, you know, the indent? And you do have it a little bit, but I mean, as you move along, it's not going to even be that big of a deal. At least, I mean, it might bother some, but for me, it's not a big deal. Then we have the Doodle With Us in November challenge, and we went back to, me and Christina decided to go back to the box a day for the prompts. And so the theme is everything that you're grateful for. Just showing gratitude in the month of November because it is Thanksgiving and it is the start of the holiday season, and just really taking the day each and every day to be thankful for something. And so please join us if you haven't already. I mean, we're in the 6th day of November, but it's still not too late to join, especially because it is in the boxes. You just go a little doodle a day, and you know, I just have to color these in. I have to catch up. But yeah, so that's Doodle With Us in November, so join us for that if you haven't already. Okay, then of course we have gratitude log. Okay, kind of kept it the same, again with a little feather and stuff. And I used my zebra mile liners in the yellow and that orange color. Okay, even for this and for this and for that. Okay, so again, always keeping a color scheme. And then last but not least, I posted this on my Instagram. And so I started to, you have to start thinking about Christmas because before you know it, like you're scrambling for gifts, and I'm already kind of brainstorming. And so I decided to keep it simple and just start with a list here of gifts I want to get for my loved ones. So starting out with my son, I just kind of started putting in some stuff, you know, and if there is a coupon code, especially for shopping online or if you're going to the store, you know, and if you do see a deal come up, I get a million emails every day. If there is one that applies, I'll write it down, you know, and then, you know, I'll order it, you know, I'll put a check next to it if I bought it, and then if I wrapped it. And it just kind of keeps me in line. And if anything, you know, you can even add a different column if you are on a budget and you just want to kind of stay within that budget. But this is what I did now, trying to gear up for the holiday season. And you'll see that at the end of the month when I do my November flip through and I do add a little more pages, they are going to be more focused on the holidays. I'll probably have a list for Christmas cards and things like that, just to kind of keep myself organized, because the holiday season just get a little crazy and chaotic. But this is the start of what I've kind of done here. Okay, and that is it for my second bullet journal, and I'm already 37 pages in to this new one here. But it is so exciting to kind of start and jump into a new one here, and I really kind of wanted to pare it down and just really stick to what was important to me, especially in the beginning spreads here. And that's the thing, you grow, you learn, and you really figure out what works for you, you know. So if you have any questions or comments on my second bullet journal setup, please comment down below. If you would like to join us for Doodle with us in November, it's still not too late. All the prompts are on my site at alexandraplants.com. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. And until next time, guys, bye.